Oh, hey leaders, this week's big idea is God is my hiding place. Let's say that together. God is my hiding place. We are jumping out of Easter, jumping back to talking about King David, who is one of my favorite people in the entire Bible. So I am excited to preach about King David again this week. But this week we're talking about this story when Saul was so jealous of David that he was constantly out to kill him. And David honored Saul even in the midst of all of the trouble that Saul caused for him. So Saul was very jealous of David because everybody was singing. It says in 1 Samuel 18, verses 7 and 8 and 9, Saul has killed his thousands and David his 10,000s. This made Saul very angry. So from that time on, Saul kept a jealous eye on David. So we all know the red balloons in the Saint series represent the traps of the enemy. So Saul gave in to the trap of jealousy with David. And he really, really tried to do his best to get rid of David because he hated how everybody loved him so much, which is ironic because Saul was the one who put David in that position in the first place and asked him to go up against the giant. It just goes to show sometimes in life we come against things that don't really make sense, but we are not responsible for for other people's actions. All we can be responsible for is our reactions. In my 5th grade leadership, we've been talking a lot about the 7 habits of a highly effective leader. And the very first habit is to be proactive. And to be proactive means that you don't take the victim mentality. It would have been really easy for David to be like, oh, I'm just this young guy and I didn't ask to go against the giant. Saul put me against him. And then now look at me like he's out trying to kill me because I killed him, which is what he asked me to do. Like none of it makes any kind of sense. And I know that all of us as adults, we have probably been in situations like that before. I know I have over and over again, when it's like, I did literally everything you asked me to do and more, and I did my best, and yet I'm still getting persecuted here. But that's gonna happen. But what we need to do is we need to be responsible for our actions in situations like this. So instead of David getting all victim mentality and like, oh, poor me, poor me, poor me, he looked to God as his hiding place. In fact, he actually said that God is my hiding place in Psalm 32, verse 7. For you are my hiding place. You protect me from trouble. You surround me with songs of victory. So in the time when David had the most trouble happening in his life, when his best friend was being asked to turn against him because his best friend was Saul's son, he didn't take the victim road. He didn't take the trap of even revenge, which we'll talk about in a second, but he took the higher road of honoring and then of making God his hiding place. So I would encourage you, if you're in a place where you feel like you're between a rock and a hard place right now, where you just don't know what else to do, find a hiding place with God. Now, it's hard sometimes to find like a physical place, but I would encourage you to find a place like that. For me, I do all of my quiet times in the morning, either in my office or on my couch. And when I get to that place with my Bible and my devotional and my journal in my hand, I know that it's time to meet with God. And I don't know what your schedule looks like. I don't know what your situation looks like, but that is my encouragement to you today, to find a place where you can hide away with God, whether you have to go hide in your closet or whether it's in your car or whether you hide away like in your basement, whatever that might look like. Find a place that God can be your hiding place, especially when we're going through hard times. That is super, super important. So this all ends when David actually came across Saul sleeping. So in 1 Samuel 24, verses 4 through 7, it says, so David crept forward and cut off a piece of the hem of Saul's robe. So he did this to prove he could have killed Saul, but he chose not to. He said to his men, the Lord forbid that I should do this to my lord the king. I shouldn't attack the Lord's anointed one, for the Lord himself has chosen for him. So David restrained his men and did not let them kill Saul. So David could have killed him, right? But he chose to honor his leader instead. Honor is positioning yourself under authority with the attitude of respect. So he actually, though, he had to repent for even doing that because he didn't even want to toe the line of being disrespectful and not honoring to his leader. So whatever leader God has put you under, whether it's a boss or a pastor or anything, I encourage you to honor and respect them. That's why I always try to pray for Pastor Trevor and Andrea in our huddles. I want to come with towards them with the utmost respect and honor, because I know as we do that as a kids ministry, God's going to bring blessing on our entire ministry, because that is who he has called us to honor and respect as our leaders. And so David, it would have been really easy for David to choose the path of revenge. And in our culture, that tends to be what people will do. They'll tend to always think like, how could I take revenge over the situation? How can I do this and do that? But David chose to honor and respect his leaders. And because of that, God brought blessing and God defended him for him. And so when we defend ourselves, it kind of ties God's hands because we kind of do it for ourselves. But when we step back and say, okay, God, I'm going to let you defend me, God will every time come and bring relief and defense from himself, which is way more effective than us doing it ourselves, right? Okay, so this week, God is my hiding place. My biggest encouragement to you before Sunday, find a place to hide away with God. Spend some time, go on a walk. That's what I like to do too. I like to put in my worship music by myself, go on a walk. I try to do that like every day if I can, because it really kind of gets me outside and really connecting with the Lord. All right, I will see you Sunday morning, 9:15 with your t-shirts on. You were made for this. God did a great job making you. I'm excited to jump back into Saints this week.